Welcome guys back to another episode of Arsenal Transfer News Daily. We are back again with another video and we've actually got quite a lot of news today, so let's get straight into it. First of all, we are going to be talking about Aouar, and apparently Arsenal have actually made a bid now for Aouar. A second bid even Arsenal made of 50 million euros plus add-ons. Now apparently this is something that Lyon may actually accept, and you know, these sources haven't been confirmed by reliable tier 1 sources. They've been reported by some lower level sources that could be or may be reliable, and I think we will find out if they are reliable in the coming days. But you know, a lot of reports, you know, a lot of small reports coming out of Italy, out of other countries as well, that Arsenal have bid for Aouar, 50 million euros plus add-ons for the player. You know, Arsenal, we did say a few days ago that Arsenal did, you know, admire him a lot, and Arsenal really want Aouar. Arsenal, you know, Mikel Arteta really wants him. Edu has a good relationship with their sporting director Junior, so this is a deal Arsenal really want to get done. You know, Arsenal is still chasing Dani Ceballos back on loan from Real Madrid, but it looks like that won't happen as Dani Ceballos kind of wants to go back to Real Betis. There have been some, you know, clues and hints that suggest he may want to come back. Obviously, celebrations from winning the Community Shield when he was watching it, we all saw that. But Aouar has emerged as a potential alternative to Dani Ceballos, and apparently Arsenal really want him. You know, we saw a few days ago, you know, Fabrizio Romano saying that Arsenal really adored him, and Arsenal were looking to sign him. And Aouar, as you guys all know, is someone I really like as well. I'd really like him to come to Arsenal. He is a brilliant player, and I hope he actually comes, because you know, he is the box-to-box midfielder we actually need. He is the perfect, ideal midfielder we'd have in their squad, and you know, he would be a midfielder. If we signed him, it would be a statement signing. I'm saying he would be amazing for the football club, and hopefully we can try and sign Aouar, because it would be extraordinary if we can get that deal done. But again, we will only find out in the coming days, you know, if the top tier journalists like Fabrizio Romano and others from, you know, the Italian press and other people, that this deal will actually happen, you know, with Aouar, this bid that has gone in. Now, will Lyon accept it? That is the big question that, you know, everyone's thinking about. You know, Lyon do want around 60 million euros, and that is what Fabrizio Romano has said. They won't accept anything less. So it is said that this bid of 50 million euros from Arsenal could get rejected. Now, if no one else comes in for Aouar, because you know, Man City are looking at Lionel Messi, so if you know, I don't think they'll go after Aouar if they're getting Lionel Messi, don't you think? And Juventus, they've got a lot of midfielders, and they've just added Weston McKennie to that list. He's just signed on a season-long loan from Schalke, which will become obligatory next season for them to sign him. So that they've basically just signed him as well. So it'll be very interesting to see what Arsenal actually do in terms of getting Aouar, you know, whether Lyon will actually go and accept that bid if no one else comes in for him. It'll be very interesting to see what happens on that front. But I can't really say much more than that. Leave your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you guys think? Has bid actually gone in of 50 million euros for Aouar plus add-ons? Will it get accepted by Lyon? What will they respond with? You know, how much more will they want? Will they accept it? Will this go through? Does Aouar want to move to Arsenal? Is he waiting on Man City or Juventus? Apparently, reports were suggesting that he does want to move to the Premier League, because you know, other conflicting reports were saying he'd rather go to Juventus, but other reports are now saying that he'd rather go to the Premier League, and then his end game, like later on in his career, he would rather go to Juventus. Then that is what's been said, but it'll be very interesting to see what happens in the coming days with this one. But that is the news. Apparently, a 50 million euro bid has gone in for Aouar, and that is the second bid, and only Arsenal have actually shown some concrete interest with Aouar. Maybe we could be the one signing him this summer. Next bit of news is on Said Benrahma, and apparently Arsenal ready to meet the £25 million asking price to seal Said Benrahma's transfer. Arsenal reportedly chasing two signings from Championship club Brentford this summer. The Gunners are said to be willing to meet the £25 million asking price for winger Said Benrahma, whilst also chasing goalkeeper David Raya, according to 90 Minute. Now, obviously, David Raya, we did report the other day that he could be a potential alternative to Emiliano Martinez if Arsenal were to sell him. But again, apparently, you know, after his Community Shield performance, Arsenal are looking to tie him down to a new deal. Benrahma is a particularly exciting talent, with the Algeria international really catching the eye in the Championship and showing that he could really shine at the Premier League level. Arsenal may have already signed Willian to bolster their attacking options this summer, but they could perhaps do with landing Benrahma to give them more depth in that department. Given that Nicola Pepe struggled in his first season at the Emirates, the addition of Benrahma could be a sensible one to ensure Mikel Arteta is not overly reliant on the Ivorian international. Now, I do disagree with that, but I'll go into that that in a second. And Raya, meanwhile, said to be Arsenal's sights due to the doubts over the future of backup. No, not backup, but like Emiliano Martinez, whether he will be the first choice goalkeeper or not. Now, again, it will be very interesting to see whether Martinez does leave, and we did talk about that more yesterday, but today we're going to be talking about Benrahma a bit more. So if you do want more on Emi Martinez, we have talked about him over the last few days. So if you do want more developments on Emiliano Martinez, then you can check out those videos, and more on David Raya as well. But looking at Said Benrahma now, I really like Said Benrahma. I think he's an amazing player, but we don't need him. We don't need Said Benrahma. We've got Bukayo Saka in that position. Martinelli's coming back. We've just added Willian. We've got Reece Nelson on the right hand side, who I think could have a good season this season. I think he does deserve another chance in the team. He has shown that through pre-season. He is a very confident player and has the ability to do at the top level still. Nicola Pepe, I think now he will shine this season, and I think if we don't give him enough game time, he won't have the platform to do what he can do, and what we have seen numerous times already this season, what he can bring to the team. So bringing like Said Benrahma in, who can actually fill in on both flanks, right wing and left wing. We don't need him. We really don't need him. Aubameyang can fill in on the left. We've got Reece Nelson also on the right. Aubameyang can also fill in on the right, and Nketiah can also fill in the right. And we have enough in the attacking options, and I think adding Willian on top of that is actually very good. And in 2021 we'll have Martinelli back as well. So I really don't think we need Said Benrahma, even though I really like the player, and I think if we needed improvement in that department, I think we'll be definitely going after this player. He's also attracted a lot of interest from other Premier League clubs such as Leicester City. I've seen a lot of, and Nandez One has been reporting on his channel, and if you haven't checked out his channel, go do that as well. And he's a very good player. Said Benrahma did very well, very unlucky not to be promoted. Obviously they did get to the Championship playoff final against Fulham, where Joe Bryan did stun them. But I think Said Benrahma is a Premier League player. He should be a Premier League player. He really has the quality, and I think he will be moving from Brentford this season, whoever he goes to, whether that's Leicester or even Arsenal. But I think we should be focusing on our main targets. Obviously, it looks like we've signed Gabriel. That's just a matter of announcement. We've signed Willian as well, who is in the same position as Said Benrahma. But I think we should be focusing on our midfield targets. Alisson Aouar, we've talked about Thomas Partey, we've talked about so many times already. So I think we should be just trying to go after those players instead of trying to look at Said Benrahma. Looking at those attacking options, there's only so much you can outscore teams. You have to focus on the spine of our team, which is something we have to be doing, unless we sell an attacker. I think if we sell Lacazette, then I think Said Benrahma does seem suitable. Maybe that's the thinking here, because Aubameyang could be playing a more central role this season, but I think Mikel Arteta really wants to play him on that left hand side. I think we saw that in the Community Shield. Aubameyang played on that left hand side, had the switch ball from Saka, and then he cut back inside from, even though it was Nico Williams, still was a Liverpool player, and he finished really well, as we saw in the Community Shield. And I think Aubameyang could be best suited on the left hand side, but he is a striker, he is the middleman, and I think if we do sell Lacazette, then I think we got Nketiah in the middle as well. So maybe that is the thinking. We could bring in Said Benrahma. Obviously we have been linked with Jose Fernandez, which has gone really quiet ever since Kia Joorabchian did come out in that interview saying Arsenal were not interested in the player. That's gone also quiet, and wonder why. I always thought that deal was very tricky, but with Said Benrahma, I'll say it again, I've said it before, brilliant player. What do you guys think of in the comment section down below? Should we go after him if we sell Lacazette and then give Aubameyang more of a central role? But in my opinion, I don't think we need to go after him unless we sell an attacking player. So that is the news, that we have been linked with Said Benrahma, and apparently we could be paying his £25 million asking price. So the next piece of news is on Ainsley Maitland-Niles, and apparently Arsenal board have performed a £20 million transfer U-turn that will delight Mikel Arteta. Arsenal defender Ainsley Maitland-Niles has courted interest from Wolverhampton Wanderers and many other clubs. Arsenal reportedly changed their stance on selling Ainsley Maitland-Niles after 17 years with the North Londoners. Maitland-Niles is open to quitting the Emirates for regular first team football. Earlier this month it was reported that the 23-year-old was reportedly on the verge of leaving his boyhood team to join Wolverhampton Wanderers. According to reports, Wolves are set to table a £15 million bid for the versatile fullback, whom they eyed to replace the recently departed Matt Doherty to Tottenham Hotspur. Despite Maitland-Niles being one of Arsenal's standout performers towards the end of last season, the Gunners boss Mikel Arteta was open to granting his wish to leave. That stance, however, has reportedly changed. According to Sky Sports, Wolves have given up hope of acquiring Maitland-Niles' services, as they now believe Arsenal want to keep him at the Emirates. They also claim the Arsenal brass are weighing up a new deal for Ainsley Maitland-Niles. He played the full 90 minutes as Arsenal's Community Shield victory over Liverpool last weekend, which the Gunners won on penalties. Arteta was thrilled with his man of the match performance, saying, "The way he's playing at the moment shows me he can do it." his mentality, the way he's going about every single detail for the preparation of a football game is much better than before. I'm delighted and very happy for him as he's changing a lot of things around him to become the player he can be. The best player to show a player what a manager thinks about him is to give him the chance to play or not. Today in the final again, he has started like he did against City in the semi-final, against Chelsea in the FA Cup final. Maitland-Niles' next outing could come in England's Nation League clashes with Iceland and Denmark, which take place on Saturday and a week on Tuesday respectively. Ainsley Maitland-Niles was actually called up to the England squad, which was a big feat for him. You know, Ainsley Maitland-Niles being called up to the England team, it's a big deal for him, obviously an England international himself. Now again, in regards to him, you know, performing a U-turn, I think we need to keep him. He's a versatile player, and I've said this all along, you know, if we have to sell him to a club, if we have to sell him, then, you know, £20 million, £25 million, it's a decent price to get for him, and I wouldn't, you know, mind it at all. But the fact that we have performed a U-turn really shows our ambition and as a club going forward, because we need to keep hold of some of these players and not let them go. You know, Wolves finished above us last season. They're a club that, you know, did very well last season, you know, as well as being in Europe. They got knocked out by the eventual champions, so it's not like they got knocked out by any small team. They got knocked out by Sevilla, who eventually, you know, won the Europa League. So, you know, if he went to Wolves, it would be strengthening them basically, because I don't know where he would have played. I think he would have played on the right hand side. So that's where Matt Doherty played, but it looks like now they have given up pursuit and Arsenal will be offering Ainsley Maitland-Niles a new contract. What do you guys think of this in the comment section down below? Is it a good thing we're keeping him, or should we cash in on him so we can fund deals for our other targets like Thomas Partey, Hossein Aouar, etc, etc? So that is the news that apparently Arsenal will now not sell Ainsley Maitland-Niles and try and sell other targets in order to fund moves for our targets. Next bit of news is on Matteo Guendouzi, and apparently Valencia are now interested in him as the Liga club make contact over signing Matteo Guendouzi from Arsenal. This hasn't been the transfer interest in Matteo Guendouzi that perhaps the player expected this summer, with Arsenal prepared to part ways with the Frenchman. They haven't yet given the opportunity to do so. Mikel Arteta has now made it clear that the midfielder can have a second chance with the Gunners and be reintegrated into plans, even though I don't think Mikel Arteta, I don't think that's true. I really don't think that's true. I think he's just saying that to the press just to, you know, not make things too bad, because, you know, if Arsenal come out and say that they want to sell Guendouzi, then other clubs will think that and they will just offer less price, because it just softens our stance on it, because we know we're going to sell. So if they just offer a lower price, we're probably going to accept. So the fact that we're saying we're going to give him a second chance, it helps. You know, if other clubs really want Guendouzi, then they'll make a higher offer probably to get him secured. So it's a smart move there from Mikel Arteta, but I don't think we're going to hold on to him. But now apparently a club has come forward. You know, Villarreal come forward, Paris Saint-Germain come forward, but now Valencia have come forward, as reported by Super Deporte from Spain on Sunday afternoon, having already seen several key players leave in recent weeks as they hope to balance their finances. The club are hoping to bring a midfielder in. Unsurprisingly, they don't want to pay and are looking for a loan without a mandatory purchase clause. Arsenal have been contacted. There's no information what the response is from the Gunners. Super Deporte insists that despite Arteta saying the player was reintegrated, Guendouzi remains on the market. Whether Arsenal feel a loan deal is worth it is quite another thing. In my opinion, I don't think we should loan him, just sell him. The fact that we did reject a deal from Villarreal for a loan means I don't think we're actually going to loan him. We would probably want a fee for him. The fee we want for Guendouzi is around 35 to 40 million pounds now. Paris Saint-Germain have shown some interest. Obviously, they are from France, which is where Guendouzi is from, so he'd probably love to go to Paris Saint-Germain, and, you know, they haven't really made any contacts as such yet, and they probably will do. But in my opinion, I think just a loan deal wouldn't work, because it's not like his playing time isn't the problem. You know, he's getting enough playing time, he can show what he can do. It's just his attitude that Mikel Arteta doesn't like. You know, he's got everything to be a world-class midfielder, just his attitude that Mikel Arteta does not like, and which is why we are actively trying to get rid of him. So I think a loan doesn't make sense in my opinion, because it's not like he's going to come back next year and be a much better player. He will be already a much better player, but he's not going to be what you call I don't know, like his attitude's going to be better. I'm not too sure about that, unless his price goes up with something Arsenal are thinking. You know, if he bombs it at Valencia on a season-long loan, and then maybe if we can assign him for 40, if some other club can hire the price if he does really well. I don't know what the situation is there, but I think if we're going to loan him, it has to be some sort of mandatory clause to buy him for 35 to 40 million pounds. Valencia have just sold Rodrigo, a striker, to Leeds United for around 35 to 40 30 to 35 million pounds, and again, they do have a bit of money to spend, so maybe Arsenal are looking at and saying, you know, just give us the money. I think that's what I'll be saying if I was the Arsenal board. I think you just want the money for Guendouzi so you can spend it on the likes of Hossein Aouar and Thomas Partey. But that is the news that Valencia are another club that are now interested in Matteo Guendouzi after Villarreal and Paris Saint-Germain have shown a lot of interest. Last bit of news is on Socrates. Now, apparently a deal has been agreed with Napoli to sell him. So the report suggests that Napoli have reached an agreement with Arsenal for Socrates Papastatopoulos. It is a 4.5 million euro fee. Socrates has agreed a 3-year deal and will earn 2.5 million a season. Socrates will replace Kalidou Koulibaly at Napoli, who is set to move to Manchester City. Now, this is quite good news because we do have 9 centre-backs at the moment on our books, and we are getting rid of one now in Socrates, and the fact that he's going to replace Koulibaly, a high-class centre-back, doesn't make a lot of sense. But if you think about it in the sense that, next to him is Kostas Manolas, again, they are Greek partners, they know each other well, which is one of the reasons he is going to Napoli, because to partner up with Kostas Manolas, and I think they will form a formidable partnership there, as they have done with Greece, and I think it will be a good move for him in that sense as well. Naples is a good place to live, it's a good place to be, it's probably much better than London in terms of the weather. But 4.5 million euro fee, it's a very good fee for someone we only signed for around 10 million pounds. Again, we have got quite good service out of him. He has had some very good performances as well, so it's a very good decision, I think, to let him go for 4.5 million euros, which is around 3 million pounds, and it's a good fee to get for someone that, again, we get his wages off the book as well. What is his wages? Around 120 grand a week, which is a lot, so that probably covers the wages of Gabriel as well, which is very, very good. And I think hopefully now we can move forward, start selling a lot of our dross, because thing is, we have to sell quite a bit of our dross to fund moves for other players, which is what we're going to try and do. We've got a lot of targets on our hand, quite ambitious targets if I say so myself, but if we do sell a lot of our dross, it is much possible that we can go after some of our targets that we have been talking about all this transfer window. So that is the news, that Socrates has agreed a deal, personal terms, and a deal with Arsenal has been agreed to sell Socrates Papastatopoulos. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. Please join the FPL Fantasy League. It was at the start of the video, the code, so you can rewind and have a look at that. Let's see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.